Before the storm, the black clay valley lies open and quiet. A herd moves through it slowly, spreading across the basin in a loose line of pale backs and narrow legs. Their feet sink softly into the damp ground. Their heads remain low. Around them, the plain is empty, smooth, and dark, broken only by shallow mineral pools reflecting the evening sky. The first drops fall without thunder. They are red, not bright red, not the red of fire, but the deep mineral color of old blood diluted in rainwater. Each drop strikes the clay with a soft sound and disappears. For several seconds, nothing changes. The herd continues forward. The valley breathes mist, the storm seems harmless. Then the first white point rises from the soil. It is smaller than a seed, a pale spike pushing upward where a raindrop landed. Then another rises beside it. Then another. Across the dark clay, the red rain begins to leave white marks. The animals do not notice at first. The spikes are too small. The rain is too gentle. The valley remains quiet, but under the surface, the storm has already entered the ground. Each red drop carries a dormant mineral larva, sealed in a shell thinner than dust. For most of its life, it waits underground as dry crystal, scattered through old basins and wind-buried flats. Rain lifts it into the clouds, warm soil wakes it. Contact with living heat hardens it. The drop becomes a tooth, root. The plain begins to grow a mouth. The first teeth are soft, no taller than grass. They bend in the rain and shine like wet bone. The herd steps through them without fear. Their hooves press the young spikes flat, and for a moment the valley seems to resist the transformation. Then the teeth begin to learn direction. Where a warm hoof touches clay, the spikes lean inward. Where breath lowers toward the ground, new points rise closer together. Where an animal stands too long, a pale ring forms around its feet. The rain thickens, red water runs along the herd's legs and beads on their skin. The ground answers with rows of white growth. The rows become lines. The lines bend across the valley floor, not randomly but toward movement. A tooth, root has hooked behind its rear ankle. The creature pulls once, slowly, the spike bends with the leg, it does not break. A second tooth rises in front of the hoof. Then a third grows to the side. Within moments, the clay tightens around the foot, like a closing jaw. The herd lifts its heads. Now the rain is no longer background. Every drop makes a small white berth. Every step wakes more of the plain. The open valley becomes crowded with pale points, each one temporary, blind, and hungry. The trapped animal struggles. That is enough. The tooth, roots nearest the movement harden. Their soft tips sharpen. Their bases thicken beneath the clay, joining into a hidden lattice. The more the animal pulls, the more the lattice tightens. The storm does not chase. It waits for panic to build its structure. The herd begins to split. Some animals move toward the mineral basin, where the clay is pale and colder. Others turn back toward the ridge, but the red rain falls everywhere. The first lines of teeth have already become curved walls, guiding the animals away from the easiest paths. The valley is not closing fast, it is closing correctly, from above. The pattern becomes visible. White arcs spread through black clay like ribs forming under skin. The herd is not surrounded by one wall, it is being sorted by many small decisions. A footstep here, a turn there, a pause, a burst of speed. Each response gives the rain more information. At the center of the basin, the smallest animals bunch together. Their bodies are warm. Their breathing is fast. Red drops gather along their backs and fall to the ground beneath them. The soil erupts. Hundreds of thin tooth, roots rise in a circle. The young herd animals press inward. The circle presses back. The teeth do not bite like jaws from above. They grow upward from below, locking legs, lifting bellies, closing gaps. A mouth made of weather has no tongue, no throat, no face, only contact. The adults try to move around the ring. The rain turns their rescue into another trap. Every heavy step becomes a new anchor. The largest animal charges toward the calves, but its weight warms the clay deeply. A row of thick white roots bursts up ahead of it, slanting backward like curved fangs. The animal stops just before impact. The line completes itself around its chest. The plane has begun to think in circles, not thought as a brain would hold it. No eyes watch the herd, no creature chooses the path. But the mineral larvae respond to heat, pressure, and dissolved salts together. They form a short-lived feeding body larger than the valley floor. The storm is the dispersal stage. The teeth are the feeding stage. The underground lattice is the memory. Rain continues to fall, the white field grows taller. Some tooth roots open along their sides, revealing tiny channels filled with red fluid. When they touch skin, they do not tear deeply, they drink warmth, minerals, and dissolve nutrients through contact. The trapped animals weaken slowly, their heat sinks into the roots. Their movement fades, the teeth grow whiter, near the edges of the valley. Other life has prepared for this. Flat shell, creatures bury themselves before the first red drops. Their backs are cold mineral, coated, and difficult to wake. Vine-like organisms curl into dry knots and let the rain pass over them. Small mud swimmers sink below the first layer of clay and wait where the larvae cannot harden. The herd is not adapted enough. It crosses this basin during the wrong season. After several dry weeks, when the ground holds dust, larvae close to the surface, the first red storm after drought is always the most dangerous. It does not water the plain, it harvests everything that kept the plain warm. By midnight, the valley has become almost white, the red rain falls between thousands of tooth roots, the herd is scattered in pockets. Each pocket surrounded by curved spikes. The animals that remain still are held but not consumed quickly. The ones that thrash feed the lattice faster. A calf lowers its head and stops moving. The teeth around it stop rising for several minutes. It survives inside a small open space, trembling but quiet. Then an adult collapses nearby. The impact sends heat and pressure through the mud. The ring wakes again. New spikes push inward, closing the calf's pocket by degrees. The storm has no anger, that makes it worse. It does not punish fear, it converts fear into architecture. Every motion becomes a wall, every rescue attempt becomes a corridor, every pulse warms the soil enough to grow another tooth. Far below the plain, the true body waits. The old lattice lies buried in layers, past storms, past herds, past dissolved teeth. It is not dead between rains, it is sleeping in mineral memory, spreading slowly through clay, basin and salt vein. When the red storm returns, the buried body sends its larvae upward, into droplets, into wind, into the next falling mouth. The night reaches its deepest hour, the rain begins to slow. The teeth stand fully grown now, pale and wet under dim cloudlight. Many are taller than the animal's knees. Some have fused into ridges, others lean over trapped bodies like closing fingers. The valley no longer looks like ground, it looks like a jaw opened flat beneath the sky. Then the first dissolving begins. At the tips, the teeth soften. Their edges blur, red fluid seeps back down their sides. The roots loosen from trapped legs, the white field sags in the rain. The feeding stage is ending, it must end before sunrise. Daylight warms the basin evenly, destroying the heat contrast the larvae need. The tooth roots cannot remain hard under broad morning temperature. By dawn, they will melt into pale slurry and sink back into the clay, carrying what they have taken. The survivors do not run when they are released. They stand among dissolving teeth, shaking, silent, and colder than before. Around them, the bodies of the fallen remain half, held in soft white mud. Scavengers wait on the ridges but do not descend yet. They know the last teeth can still harden around a warm mouth. The eastern sky grows silver, the red rain becomes thin mist, mown by one the tooth, roots collapse. A valley that was a mouth becomes a plain again, the black clay smooths itself under shallow water. Pale streaks drain into cracks. By full sunrise, almost nothing remains except white rings in the mud and animals standing exactly where the night taught them not to move. Later, wind will dry the basin, the white rings will crack into dust, the dust will rise, clouds will take it, and somewhere beyond the ridge, another quiet herd will step into red rain, believing the storm is only weather.